Guys, who's got a job for me? Maybe who wants the Loeries? We'll swap. You guys can have Loeries cake. I'll be here.
Cool, man. So let me give you context.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you know about my podcast called the CMO Corner.
Yes, I do.
So I chat to marketing executives, all of that. You and I must have a full chat, by the way.
We should.
Like an hour long.
I'll tell you all the Loeries secrets and how to boost creative excellence. All this stuff. Just ask me.
Oh yeah, cool. We'll set up time. We'll do that. But for the purpose of today, so
Yes.
the Effie's called and they're like, actually, CMO Corner, I want you here.
Brilliant.
Chat to everyone that is here.
Awesome.
So chat to the executives, whether people won or they didn't win, or people that are attending, just chat to them.
Awesome.
Let's understand what's happening in the industry. Let's understand what makes ideas work. Let's understand what makes things measurable and impactful and all of that stuff.
Brilliant.
And you are the best man to talk to about that. You might not agree. I can see you thinking already like, am I really the best man? Yes, you are. According to me, you are.
I know a little.
Yeah.
Little bit.
So you've got experience from what is traditionally known as client side, and now obviously with the Loeries.
Yeah.
You've seen people enter awards, and for me, the conversation that I want to have with you is not necessarily just about awards, but it's about great work that has impact.
Awesome. And I've got two hats. I've got the Loeries hat, and I also sit on the board of the ACA, which organizes the Effies.
Okay, cool. So let's chat about that.
Yeah.
So maybe split the two for me. Give me a sense of what the ACA does.
So the ACA is basically an administrative body that's made up primarily of the CEOs of agencies.
Yeah.
And essentially what they are is to ensure that the regulations are in place and that we have a healthy industry from an operational perspective.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Loeries, which is essentially from a creative perspective and creative excellence for the whole of Africa and Middle East is making sure that it's a strong, robust creative economy across Africa and the Middle East. So Loeries, Africa, Middle East, creative economy, ACA, operational excellence of agencies in South Africa.
Okay, let's start with the agencies in South Africa.
Yeah.
How do we, maybe let me take a step back. Where are we in terms of creative excellence? Your opinion, and there's no right or wrong when you have these discussions, right?
Yeah.
It's two brothers having a chat.
Okay.
We'll keep it here. No.
We'll keep it here.
Until I release
between us.
Between us, yeah.
Yeah, between us. So I think it's a pretty much open secret out there that the creative excellence and in the South African landscape is severely depressed at the moment.
Yeah.
So we're at a point where we are generally, and the numbers are out there to prove it, that we are at an all-time low.
Yeah.
And that there's an absolute need to reinvest and reinvigorate like the creative ecosystem right now.
Jeez. Okay. So I believe we are here, or where you saying we are, as in we are regressing. If I'm not mistaken, Amit Tilly said we number 26 in the world or something like that right now.
Which is the maximum that Cannes Lions actually does a ranking at. There's no 27 or 28 last I checked. I think they stop it at 26. Need to double check. But yeah. So this is the first time that South Africa has been outside of the top 20 since the ranking started.
Sure.
First time ever.
So what do you think is going wrong, bro?
So
I don't want to delve too much into that.
So many things.
There's the upside. Yeah, but I want to hear the truth.
Yeah, look, I think there needs to be a greater ownership in terms of the relationship with the consumer.
Yeah.
Right now, that relationship with the consumer is being done by brand and agency, and primarily led by. I'm a brand guy.
Yes.
I'm a marketer, and as a marketer, I can tell you is like a lot of marketers have taken a very transactional relationship with the agent, and I've got proof of it.
True.
I'll tell you right now. With huge respect to the brands that are out there that are winning in the space, but if you go out in the parking lot right now, you're going to see tons of Chinese-made cars.
True.
And yeah, they're great cars, but the reason they were able to come into this market and penetrate the market isn't only because of price and all that stuff. It's because the established players in the market stopped pushing the narrative about we've been with you for all your journeys. We've been there, dependable, reliable, all of those great communication. They stopped all of that and they went, price, so many thousand rands a month, you can get this. And now the Chinese guys just have to come in and go, so many thousand rands a month, you can get even more. Second example, go into any Pick and Pay or ShopRite these days. Why is it that dealer-owned brands, private label, all of these brands are actually growing right now?
Yeah.
And they're beating established brands.
Yeah.
They're not beating them because the price is better. They're beating them because the established brands in the market, they stopped communicating the experience of being with this brand. They went, by the way, this if we're a shampoo, this is the efficacy of the shampoo that's out there. If we're a washing powder, this is how we work. If we're a chocolate, this is what you expect from a chocolate. And therefore you get like a dealer-owned brand can come go, hey, we tick the same boxes right now. Here's your category passports. We've ticked it. Buy us. So we're at a point right now where we've lost that connection with the consumer. And until we reinvigorate that connection with the consumer, we'll continue seeing a slide from established brands to new brands in the market.
So now, how do we reignite that connection? Now I'm chatting possibly the creative element, which is the other hat that you wear from your perspective.
It starts up with brands taking responsibility for owning that relationship. So the challenge is, and again, there's been a juniorization of the marketing function globally, but in South Africa, there's been a massive juniorization of the marketing function. You tend to find there are CMOs who don't get board seats anymore. You're a CMO, so you have a C-suite title, Chief Marketing Officer, but you're not a director of the company. Why? Because again, as marketers, we've abdicated our responsibility to say, we are not cost centers. What we are these experiential centers. We are business growth centers out there. Until we reclaim that mantle, and that's what we need to do first, as marketers, to be able to say, this is what's the job that we're doing. And therefore, CEO, CFO of the business, you need to make sure that you fuel this growth that needs to happen for the brand by ensuring that we have the budgets to be able to deliver on this. Right now, I'm looking at businesses, and you can look at lots of big businesses in the market. They have robust P&Ls. They're listed. You can look at their P&Ls. They're robust P&Ls, but they don't spend the requisite amount in marketing anymore.
Yeah.
Why is it? You're doing short-term return to your shareholders, but you're not doing the long-term view and your responsibility to your shareholders to continuously grow wealth for them. And that's a challenge. And therefore, I think marketers need to fight for that position first and foremost. When they fight for that position, as they go that journey, and that's not something that happens over time. That happens now. That happens at the next budget chat, the next meeting. You go, I need this budget. You don't give me this budget, you can't hold me responsible for the results. They need to fight for that and then start investing in the communication, the creative that actually connects with the consumers. And like with anything right now, I mean, you and I, and any person can have a decent pair of shoes on, but you could go out and buy a 50 Rand pair of shoes if you wanted out there.
True.
Or you could go out there and buy a 10,000 Rand pair of shoes. The experience is totally different. They both cover your feet, but they give you a different experience. It's the same thing with your creative. You can go out and do cheap creative, but don't expect it to work as hard as creative that you actually craft really well and spend money behind.
Sure. So how do we then, and I'm thinking about this practically. So the first thing is, it almost feels like, yes, like we say, has to happen now. The conversation has to happen now. So you have the conversation, you sign in blood, your own blood as a CMO, and you say, okay, this is what I want to do. I need X amount to deliver these results. What I'm hearing from you is we need to start speaking the business language.
And you can notice the language I'm giving you right now is not about
shareholder value. I heard it all.
That's the language, and marketers need to have that language right now. I mean, right now, unfortunately, a lot of marketers are going in there and not having the hard discussions with the CEO and the CFO in terms of the value they're going to bring. A lot of people are like, no, I need to make this ad. Obviously, if you're just going to make an ad, so what? So what? I don't want ads to be made for the sake of making ads. An ad has to work. Like your brand communication needs to be hard working for the shareholders. And that's what happens is, as marketers, we need to go into those boardrooms and go, I need to make work that's going to work hard for our shareholders and deliver the value. And that comes with having and knowing the right business language to bring into those boardroom chats.
Jeez. So maybe in closing, because I can't keep you here forever. I think you and I are passionate people about this thing. We'll sit here forever. What do you believe, and it's a personal thing, are some of the key matrices that we can discuss that talk to impact, that can talk to the shareholder? So when I'm having a chat with the shareholder and I'm fighting for this thing, so as much as we talk about the business language in theory, what is it? Like, do I say I'm trying to drive, I don't know, volume, or I'm trying to grow your business by X% and I need this, or I'm trying to drive, I don't know, I'm trying to manage the red revenue management system. What am I saying?
Oh, yeah. So I think, one of the key things I think we need to focus on, there's two things. Let's simplify. There's
Okay.
two things, right? The first thing you need to focus on is how are we actually driving value?
Yeah.
Driving value. That's it. In the end of the day, businesses exist to make an economic profit. And that's where you go. Firstly, I want to do work that drives economic profit for the business. That's it. But in driving the economic profit, how do we do this in a way that ensures strong brand equity? And brand equity is the measure of long-term and sustained success. If you have the brand equity, you can continuously drive value. But you can drive value right now with no brand equity and lose. And I'll show you an example of this. A lot of performance marketing, you go out there, you can buy your market share. Go out there and buy your market share, and you'll have the results, and you'll make your CFO and your CEO really, really happy. But the discussions we need to go is that's not enough. Your bonus CEO, CFO that you're going to get right now is not enough, because you're going to get it this year and you're not going to get it next year, the year after, because you haven't driven brand equity. We need to be always working in lockstep. Value and brand equity. Value and brand equity. As long as we continuously growing those two metrics, you're going to find that we'll have good, sustainable business. And again, that's on a very simplified way. But if you want to start simple and then you complicate from there.
Cool. Love it. Preetesh, thank you, brother.
Awesome.
Thank you very much for your time.
Man.
Thank you for contributing to the podcast.
Great being here.
Lovely. Cool. It's a wrap.